welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome to my channel if you are here for the first time. I wanted to do a trailer to introduce myself and let you guys get an inside scoop on who I am. I have many questions all of the time, and it's hard to answer because the same questions keep popping up over and over and over again. And if I answered them the way that I want to answer them, I would be doing it 1,000 times over. So I make this trailer so that way you guys can be referred back to here if you do have any questions. So I will be going over some of the questions that you guys have about me. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I started this channel 2.5 years ago. I think my first video was 2019 of June of 2019, the end of June of 2019. So when I started this channel, I actually started it because I was told, believe it or not, by a horse named Walter to start the channel. I had made the channel, but I hadn't posted any videos yet. And I was just sitting on the couch one night, and a horse, I can communicate with animals. I can communicate with nature, right? I haven't been able to like communicate, like I have Ted, right? Ted's my Shishan. Let me show you. Ted, that's Teddy, okay? I mean, I think I can. I've been working on that, but it's more animals in a different realm, right? Like my animal totems, I can automatic write with animals from different realms, right? So anyway, there's a horse named Walter that came and said, start your YouTube channel. And I said, okay, you just want me to do a video? And he said, yeah. So I went out and I channeled a message from nature. I channeled trees. And that's what I was posting every day. I was posting the channelings. I don't know if I posted any automatic writing. I may have, but I did transcribe it. And I was doing that for a while. And then I was like, well, let me put tarot into it. So I started tarot, and then I got carried away with the tarot. And I'm like, oh, I like it because it kept me connected. So that's one thing I appreciate about the tarot, is that there is a constant connection I have every day. I do 12 videos a day, right? So that's a lot of freaking videos. That's 60 videos a week. On top of, sometimes I'll do monthlies if I have the energy, if I have the time. So the one thing I appreciate about the tarot is every time that I start before I even start the videos, I call in my peeps. I will start channeling the energy. So I do that not only then, but I do it multiple times a day. So it's helped me strengthen my energy. So I do appreciate that. And it's also helped me expand on my gifts, because I also mirror gaze, which I also did in the channel way back when. So I just started a channel. I actually, I have to rename the channel, but I will be channeling trees, and the channel will be called Nature Speaks 333. Some of you may have already subscribed to this channel. I think it's called Your Sacred Scribe Tarot 333. I'm changing the name to it. Should be changed by the time you see this video, and that will be specific to nature, because I've been told I need to get back to nature. That is my true gift, connection with nature and the messages I receive. And I always appreciate that. So very interesting stuff from the trees. So go to Nature Speaks 333 and check that out with my messages. I hopefully, maybe not daily messages, but at least a couple of times a week, at least 3 times a week. I haven't decided yet. Still have to talk to the higher ups because they have me working on other things right now. So, okay, so that is how this channel got started. My awakening started in the end of 2011, and it actually started, I was going back to school, finishing up my degree for creative writing. And my fiction professor told us to start a book. So I started a book, and one night, because I love writing at night, I'm a night owl. right? So one night, as I'm writing and editing, I have analysis paralysis sometimes because I'm always rewriting and rewriting. I started feeling massive energy pumping through me, and I'm like, whoa! I started experiencing vertigo, things. This was weird. Things I was writing, okay, about the character actually happened to me. And that's a book I have to get back to because it's eerie how some of the things happen. So anyway, it started with coming through sort of writing. So I was channeling in a sense, but I didn't even know it. And my hands started heating up, so I was asking what is going on. So I started looking that up. Then I went to YouTube videos, found Bashar, which is Daryl Anka, channels Bashar. It's sort of a collective consciousness. I think it's actually him from the future, a future version of him that he channels. And that's all about creating your reality. Similar to Abraham Hicks, it's just the information is conveyed in a different way. It's interesting to listen to both of them, Abraham Hicks and Bashar. So I started with Bashar, and at the time they had thousands of videos with Bashar, creating your own reality, because I was searching for what is happening to me, searching the internet. I came across Reiki, and I was like, I don't know if it's that. So I sort of blew that off. I read it, but I blew it off. So then I started meditating. Then I started having experiences. I started lucid dreaming, which was very cool. I started experiencing, I'll tell you one experience that I had. I call him the Galactic Man. I was meditating one night, and I think I fell asleep, but then I was coming back out of it. I don't know, you guys, if you meditate, right? You meditate, sometimes if you fall asleep for a little bit and you come back up, you can, your vibration is just like, woof, way raised. So I looked to the side of me. This was like 3 a.m, and I was lucid. My son was outside. I could hear him. So I knew it wasn't a dream. So I looked to the side of me, and I see what I call the Galactic Man. It was a man that looked like, it was a man that was translucent, almost like the Silver Surfer, okay, but lighter than that. So, and he was just kneeling beside the bed and looking at me. So I looked at him, he didn't say anything, and then just left, poof. So that was my first experience of seeing something. Then I moved to Arkansas, right? I had issues in my marriage, okay? I was trying to work it out. So we moved to Arkansas because I'm like, oh, I'll heal there, which I totally did. I'm totally thankful for Arkansas. It is a beautiful state. And man, the energy there, I can't even tell you, is so different than where I am now. I'm in Rhode Island. But it's so different there. And I think it's because of all the crystals they have under the earth. So I could feel thunderstorms. I started to feel thunderstorms, the vibration in the air. I started to see portals, what I call portals. It's like I can see the air. I don't know how else to put it. It's malleable. So when they say creating your own reality, like I can actually see how it's malleable, like it looks like it's moldable. I don't quite know what to do with this yet, but it's there. So it's there for a reason. And my gifts come, and sometimes I have no idea what to do with them. I like talking to nature when that first happened. So moved to Arkansas, right? Started, I think I got some angel cards, and I was starting with oracle cards, just using crystals. Then I said, well, let me look into Reiki. So I went to a Reiki master, went to a Reiki class, took 1, 2, 3, got attuned, and oh my God, the purging that came up through the attunements was incredible. I highly recommend you guys take a Reiki class because the attunements will purge all this negativity that just comes up. Like I remember crying and crying and crying, but it was a cleansing cry, right? It was just so cleansing. So after my second attunement, I was doing self Reiki, right? Because that's what you could do. And then I got my attunement for the third, and I'm like, okay, well, who can I Reiki besides at the time my husband, which I did. So I was outside with Ted. I lived on a lake, and beautiful place. So I sat down, and there was a bush there, and I'm like, well, let me just Reiki the bush. So I started Reikiing the bush, and then there was this connection I can't explain, and I was prompted to ask the bush a question. So I'm like, what do you ask a bush? I mean, really, what do you ask a bush? So I decided, what is it like to be a bush? So the bush, like, I didn't hear voices or anything. This is all energy. It's a translation of energy. Energy is its own language. So this is the only way I can explain it, the way that I connect with nature. It's a translation of energy, translating a language. So I asked the bush, what is it like to be a bush? So then I get prompted to look to the left of me. And when I looked to the left of me, there was this bush that the maintenance guys or whatever just cut down, right? The groundskeepers cut down. And then I felt this overwhelming sadness, like my heart was being, something was pulled from my heart. It was just devastating. But that was like a second, but that second was long enough for me to understand that something was ripped away from the bush, like everything is connected. That bush was connected to this bush, okay, which is connected to the tree that was above it. So the message there was everything is connected. So when one thing gets cut down that's connected, all our roots are connected, it affects everything around it. So immediately after that, I get this overwhelming feeling of just pure love. And my heart felt like it was being rocked, right? Like by a mother. And I was feeling Gaia. And oh my God, I cannot tell you this feeling. So the bush made me feel sort of the, I don't want to say darkness and light, it's just the two extremes, the sadness and the elated feeling, okay, the two extremes. And that is what the bush feels. So the bush can feel things that are being tugged away from them, ripped away from them, but at the same time they have that nurturing presence from Gaia that is so freaking loving. I cannot even tell you. To have your heart feel rocked, I've never felt that before. So I was just, I was crying, and I'm like, oh my God, nobody is going to believe that I connected with the bush. Of course, I tell my husband, I don't think he believed me. So I'm like, okay. So I tell my Reiki master, of course, my Reiki master believed me. And by the way, when she did Reiki on me, before I decided to take Reiki classes, the first time she did Reiki on me, I was smelling eucalyptus, and I thought she had like this incense thing going on. And when I had my last session with her for Reiki 3, she said, no, I don't have any scents in the room. So I know I felt the angels there because they were on my hands, but the smell of eucalyptus. So every time I do self Reiki, this is what I smell. So these are the experiences that I've had. So from the bush, yes, I speak to bushes. So from the bush, I started to play with this. Like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? I remember sitting next to the bush, like, okay, I can communicate with the bush, but what am I supposed to do with this? I have no idea. So it was very frustrating obtaining all these gifts, right? And not knowing what to do with them. And mirror gazing, I can look into mirrors and see things, see visions in mirrors, which I also did on the channel in the beginning. And they want me to get back to this. So, and I had no idea, what to do with these visions. I mean, Jesus came through in the mirror. Oh, that's hysterical. They know my sense of humor. They know I love to laugh. So when I was mirror gazing one time, Jesus came through the mirror, and Jesus, no word of a lie, was next to an alien. And he did that because he didn't want me to be afraid, because the alien looked like it almost looked like, I don't want to say cartoonish, but something you would see on TV. And I'm not sure if this was an exaggerated version of an alien, although it could have been a species of an alien. I don't know. But all I know is I laughed so hard. But I wasn't afraid. So so they know my sense of humor, and they do things like that. They do things gently to introduce me to things, so I'm not afraid. Um, so that's my mirror experience. Then I started with trees, and there was this big oak tree on the lake, and I started connecting with the tree, and the tree started giving me messages. I would tree gaze, and oh my God, I can't tell you what happens with tree gazing. Um, is actually what I think happened. Let me back up a little. What I think happened is I had done mushrooms once, right? Long story about where these mushrooms came from, but maybe I'll say that in another video. So I did mushrooms. This was when I was married with my now ex-husband and their friends. And when I did mushrooms, okay, and of course you go out into nature, and I looked at the sky and I looked at the trees, I would see this kaleidoscope of colors, and I'm like, oh my God, like things just look so magical. That I was feeling tall. I kept on saying, I feel tall, because they were making me feel tall. And all these things were happening. I firmly believe that that helped trigger some connection in my brain to allow me to obtain these gifts, that in Reiki. I mean, I think it's a combination of things. I was meditating at the time too, started meditating heavier. So this is what I saw without the mushrooms. I could see in the trees what I saw with the mushrooms. So that's why I think it came from the mushrooms. So the trees would play with me. I would tree gaze, and I'd see this kaleidoscope of colors just going in and out and in and out. And I would just sit there with Ted for, for hours, right? Then I got pulled by Gaia to get this Native American deck. And I'm like, Native American? I'm not even Native American. My roots are not Native American. So I get this Native American deck, and I have it here somewhere. And it's animals. It's a deck from 1988, which there's irony in that, because I actually started doing tarot in 1988, but sort of put it aside because I was like, it's not mainstream. I didn't step into my authenticity, because you feel like you're going to be judged, right? So that was in 1988. So I thought it was funny that this deck was from 1988, and each card has an animal on it. So they prompted me to card gaze. So I started connecting with the animals. I started seeing, I have a panther, right? Sadie, that's my female, and Adamanite, which is on my right, which is a jaguar. So I have a black jaguar and a jaguar, right? So anyway, I saw Sadie in another dimension. I was tree gazing, and I think this was around sunset. And I was getting up from tree gazing, connecting with the tree, and I was walking, and I looked to my left. And it's funny, she was at my left. And she was there, but I knew she was in another dimension. It was weird. And I was like, oh my God, that is so cool. So I've seen a lot of cool things in different dimensions. I am a twin flame. I am not with my twin currently. We did have a lot of experiences together, witnessing shape-shifting. And you guys can believe this or not. I'm just expressing what I've seen, and it's nice when you have somebody who's experiencing the same exact thing. We've experienced time like speeding up, just very cool things. But then shadow people, and so a ton of experience with my twin. I'm not with my twin now. What else? So when I went to, so then, I ended up leaving Arkansas, and because that's when I found out actually who my twin was. So I ended up leaving Arkansas, going to my twin. and connecting with trees more. I would go out on a daily basis, and these trees started telling me things way back when, like they'd mention. I'm not even going to say it here because I'll say it in another video. I think I did some writing on this. I think I documented this. But all these things that are happening now I know what was up. All these things that are happening now is getting the messages then. And I still have other messages that relates to now, but I feel like it's further in the future. So I'm not going to say it right now. But I feel like it relates to my mission. So anyway, started connecting with trees, and they started giving me all these messages, and I'm like, okay, I got to write down these messages because they're like collective messages. And I always found these messages fascinating because it's almost like sometimes it's a puzzle. The words that they use, because I love words. I'm a writer, so I love words. So words always fascinate me when they put particular words together, and I'm like, is that even right? And they tell me yes. So I look up the word, and come to find out it has a different context that people don't normally use. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it makes you think, it makes you stop and think. So I love that. Not only do I get the message, but if there's words or a sentence I'm not quite understanding the expression of, I'll look up the words, and it's so much deeper. I can't explain it. So when you go to my channel and you see these channelings, okay, and you're wondering, what do they mean by that sentence? If you've ever ordered automatic writing from me, they do that also in automatic writing. Look up the words. You want to take things in slow with these messages. You want to digest it. And I feel like that's part of why they're saying yes. They do this. They put these words together in a specific way sometimes to make you stop and think, well, what does that mean? So you look up the word, and it's just very fascinating to me. So let's see. So connection with nature. I've seen ancestors one time. Staying at my sister's, woke up in the middle of the night. That's where the fairies were when I was over there. If any of you watched those videos way back when, and actually they're back now, but they were with my sister when I moved here. And I'm like, where'd they go? Right? And they just showed up a couple of weeks ago. They show up like fireflies. And I knew they were back because they can be mischievous. They've actually taken my makeup and like put it on the mirror before. My twin can attest to that. So anyway, the fairies are back. And what was I saying? So experiences with the elementals, that began in Arkansas. A little bit of water gazing. I would see colors. Colors I see a lot when I do Reiki. So I do distance Reiki, which I really, really love. Reiki I just love because it triggers something. I don't know. It's like, you know how I said it triggered my gift with nature, I believe, right? That and the mushrooms, but I really feel like it triggered my gift with nature. But there's something about Reiki that just, it's like, it's energy, right? So it goes where it needs to. And I feel like it opens up areas in you that you were not aware of. So you come out of it with a different awareness, right? This is my experience anyway. They've actually put me into past regression through Reiki, and that wasn't even my intent. That's for another video because that was deep shit. So, yeah, this past regression actually led me to become vegan because eating meat now actually makes me sick, and I didn't know why. But it was that past regression, who I was in a past life, and I didn't connect it. This happened within like a 2-week time span. I'm like, why can I not eat? Just like I would have salads with chicken in it. I'm like, this chicken just does not taste right. So it was almost like I had to do it. It wasn't like I'm making a decision. Yes, I love animals, but I never in a million years thought I would become vegan. It's very difficult to become vegan because I'm trying to get away from dairy and whatnot, and I don't know, it's very difficult to get away from that when you find that even protein shakes have like this milk derivative for in it, you know, and I need a source of protein. So anyway, that's a different story. Yes, I go on a lot of tangents. I have a lot of Gemini in my chart. So if you're wondering, I am a Taurus sun. I am a Sagittarius rising. I was born May 8th. Sagittarius rising, Gemini moon. Actually, May 8th was Jane Roberts' birthday, by the way, which is interesting because I have rheumatoid arthritis amongst fibromyalgia and all that. And so did she. And I don't know if you know who Jane Roberts is, but that's a different story. I saw her in the mirror, though, one time. So Taurus sun, Gemini moon, Sagittarius rising, Gemini Venus. I think a Gemini Mars. I forget what my Mars is. I don't know. I'll list it in the About section. I think I'm going to change the About section. So let's see. That's my astrology. Yes, May 1970. So I am 51. Okay, so that's about my gifts. So, you know, Ted, you know my past, some of it anyway, right? People always comment, I love your hair. Give me your hair secrets. Well, people, this is a clip. It is not my hair. This is my hair. This is my hair. Okay, and I'm gonna string a video here because I just actually did my hair. I washed my hair because I have a bun underneath this, and I washed my hair. I will. This is all going to be strung together, so I'll show you washing my hair, blow drying my hair, how I would wear it if I wasn't wearing the clip, which I don't do anymore anyway. But I'll show you the bun and what I do with this, because this I straighten. So it comes curly. It's a clip. It is funny. Tyler's Tara always mentions a $2 wig. And I'm always like, it's not $2, Tyler. It's $12.99 on Amazon. So this comes curly. Okay. I'll also string that in. So this comes curly, wavy. So I leave it like that. So you too can have goddess hair, because everybody says, oh, you have goddess hair. And then I straighten it because it is heat resistant. I can wash it and blow dry it. So each one lasts me, it all depends. Sometimes they're made differently. Lasts me usually about 2 weeks, and then I'll put in a new one. And it's funny, the older it gets, the better it looks. I don't know. But I can have 2 looks. I can go curly and I can go straight. Now my natural hair is curly. But it's thinning, right? So I started wearing hair pieces in 2012. Like I have ones I call my wind hair. Like when I went to Hawaii one time, I went to Maui. I have what's called wind hair. Maybe I'll do a segment on that. But I never said anything because it's not a beauty channel, and I'm like, everybody comments. If I were to say this is not my hair, it's a clip, I'd be saying it 1,000 times over. So I'm like, I need to do a trailer so that I can answer a lot of questions that you guys may have about me. So if you compliment me on my hair in any of the comments, I'm just gonna say thank you. Okay. If you want to know more, go see my trailer. I'll put the Amazon link down below, by the way, to this particular clip. It comes in all different colors. I'll put the other link because I got like Dancing with the Stars hair. I call it, well, actually it's called Dancing with the Stars hair. It's pretty cool. It's like this wrap that you put around, and it's got like, you know how I have hair down here? So it's got all the strings that come down. It's pretty cool. So that actually is my wind hair. What else? So I will string that all in. My teeth are crowns, and I did crowns because I have rheumatoid arthritis, and I was on a lot of different medicine. I spent so much money at the dentist, I got sick of it. That was part of the reason my hair started thinning. The other part, I really feel like it's genetics, because my mom has thinning hair. So does one of my sisters, but the other one doesn't. The other one actually has, looks like hair like this. Yeah, so these are crowns. I got sick of it. I said, just give me crowns, because then I don't have to worry. I just have to worry about my gums. So I keep up on my gums and stuff. What else? I think that's it. I'm not sure if you guys have any more questions. I may put a post out and ask you guys if you have any questions. I can string another video into this, but I wanted Spirit's like just do an intro right now, because I was about to do readings, and they said just wing it. So that was me winging it. So you know that I go on tangents. That's me. That's the Gemini in me. I'll go from one subject to the next because there's so much going on in my mind. I have so many interests. Yeah, so this is my life, basically, right? The tarot, nature, TED. This is my life. This is my focus. And my goal is to help people and to guide people and grow with you guys together, because it's a journey and I want to learn from you as much as you learn from me. It's teamwork, right? And that's what I want this channel and Nature Speaks to be about. So this channel may be changing because of Nature Speaks. I have to put energy into that, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do about the daily readings. I will be doing readings, just don't know if they're going to be weekly, if I'm going to change the how I do things, because it takes up a lot of time. Doing 12 readings a night takes up not 12 hours, takes up about 5 hours, 5 to 6 hours, right, total. So it's a lot of time, right? And they want me doing other things. They have me doing other things. And I only have so much energy. And with my rheumatoid arthritis, sometimes I get drained. Sometimes I have flare-ups. And then I got fibro. Ted is a therapy dog. That's another thing. Ted saved my life. My teddy bear saved my life. He truly did. That's another story. I have a lot of stories I'm writing about, so stay tuned for that. So that's what I have for you right now, guys. I hope I answered a lot of your questions. I hope you know me a little bit better, because I'd like to get to know you guys a little bit better. I want to be able to I read all of your comments, but I don't always respond, because again, it takes a lot of energy out of me. So I need to switch things up, because my gift is truly connection with nature. So this has to be secondary. The tarot has to be secondary to that. I have to put that as a, what's the word? Mercury's retrograde, so forgive me. What's the word, Spirit? I have to put that first. I can't think of the word. It's going to bug me. But I have to put that first. And I did in the beginning, but then it sort of fell off, and this just took it just took off, right, in the way that it did. And I was moving from place to place. My life was, my life still isn't where I need it to be. But everybody's a work in progress, right? So this is what I want to show you, a part of me. So hopefully I'll have more videos. If you guys have any more questions. I have a titanium wrist. That's from the rheumatoid. I'm just trying to think of things that, well, all right, that's all I have for you. This is probably going to be connected to the hair video, so you guys can see what I do there. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you got to know me a little bit better. Please enjoy the channel and go to Nature Speaks 333 and subscribe, because the message is there. are pretty spectacular, I must say, every time I get a message. Sometimes I almost get scared to get the message, but it's always enlightening and it's always uplifting. Always, it helps me grow. It's funny, the trees help me grow. And the connection with trees is literally through the breath. So I'll put that in another video, but there's my tangent again. So I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the video. Namaste. So this is me. Well, I'm always me, but this is how I would wear my hair, how I used to wear my hair before 2012, because that's when I started wearing hair pieces, but it doesn't grow anymore. So, and I always wore my hair up, even when I was a kid, because I always had this one, like, I called it my bald spot. It wasn't like all bald, but I don't know, I just didn't like wearing my hair down. So I wore my hair up all the time. This is how I would wear it if it was up. I'd probably put some hair down here. But that's it. So what I do is I put this into a bun. You see how it's curly here. So I put this into a bun, and then I put the clip over it. So voila. I hope you enjoyed the show, I guess. So I will catch you next time. Namaste.